The rebellion was over, but Boyanes still had a difficult task before him. The once rich province of Apulia lay in tatters, and the hostility of its northern neighbors did not bode well for the future. Melius's brother Datus still preyed on the surrounding lands from his lair on the Garigliano. Additionally, rumor quickly spread of Holy Roman armies massing in the north. Boyanes was not about to let his hard-earned gains slip away like a fish from the net. The odds were against him, but he had a loyal army and a plan. The Apennine Pass was the gateway to southern Italy, and Boyanes intended to fortify it. Thousands of soldiers and masons followed him to the ruins of Acre, an ancient Roman city near the mountains, and began construction of a citadel named Troia. Boyanes would restore the grandeur of Byzantine power in Italy, or die in the effort. The Holy Roman Empire was no trifling opponent. Many good men fell parrying the assaults on Troia. Boyanes' forces struck out at Datus' tower on the Garigliano and dragged him from it. Following the ancient Roman custom, Datus was confined in a leather sack with a rooster, a monkey, and a viper, and cast into the sea. Byzantine Italy flourished under Boyanes' tenure as Catapan. Alas, that the incompetence of his successors have brought us to this dreadful pass. Young men seek renown in the battlefield, thinking war a noble affair. Little do they know that their quarries are in vain. There is nothing but chaos, the screams of dying men, and the stench of death. I long for peace and cheer. I can hardly remember the sound of music in the streets, and the noises of a bustling city on market day. They have been replaced by the din of battle, the whistling of rocks hurled by Norman catapults, and the solemn evening tales in the taverns told by those who cannot forget the carnage of each day. My father approached, holding a sword and his old helm, breastplate, folds and greaves. They are yours now. For 200 years, our family has proudly served this city. But today, you must leave this place. I am too old for the journey. But if you live, my death will not be in vain. Someday you will tell your son this story with the same pride as I have. Fight well today, escape, and secure yourself that future. The morning sun shone on the shores of the Aegean. I was speaking to a miller when I heard shouts from the harbor. Racing to the docks, I recognized several Barians disembarking from a battered vessel. The tidings were grim. Bari was in Norman hands, and my father had fallen valiantly along with it. I thought of his parting words, but I doubt that I will ever don his armaments again. Like my ancestor Panos, I have seen enough battle for 10 lifetimes. I think I shall travel the Empire, from Thessaly to Anatolia, seeking work as I go. With all luck, I will earn enough wealth to buy a house in the countryside, and raise miles of vineyards on the hillside. Perhaps one day, when I recount the tale of my family to my children and grandchildren, I will be able to conclude it with how we have found peace at last.
You have come to hear the tale of Frederick Barbarossa, huh? Better order us another round. Maybe 3. You see, it is a great tale. But then again, everything about the man was great. Barbarossa was a man of great appetites, great ambitions, and a great red beard. But the question, huh? The question you want to know is, was that enough? Is the will of one man enough to forge an empire? For there was no Holy Roman Empire at that time. Only a gaggle of quarreling city-states. These dubiously loyal princedoms were more interested in a loose confederation than a unified empire. But Barbarossa, he believed that he was the emperor by the will of God, and he intended to bring the Holy Roman Empire back to its former glory. If that meant crushing all of the German princes, well, so be it. They have called Barbarossa the scourge of Europe, but he was as skilled a diplomat as he was a warrior. He united the German principalities with more than just a sword. He established a set of legal codes known as the land pieces. He helped the hungry by fixing an official price for grain after every harvest. The provinces of Germany quickly became the wealthiest and most powerful in Europe. The Holy Roman Empire was so successful, in fact, that it quickly became strong enough to expand. The empire was in full bloom, and her population was rapidly growing. The people felled forests, drained marshlands, and reclaimed land from the sea itself. This newfound prosperity made expansion too tempting to resist. Eager to test his military might, Barbarossa set his sights east, towards the Kingdom of Poland. To assist in his invasion, Barbarossa called up one of his mightiest vassals, Henry the Lion. Henry was a powerful prince of Saxony, and his decadent palaces outshone the emperor's own. While he swore fealty to Barbarossa, some questioned whether Henry the Lion did not want the empire for his own. By ordering Henry the Lion aid in the subjugation of Poland, Barbarossa meant to test his oath of allegiance once and for all. Henry expected to be drawn and quartered, the usual fate of traitors in those times. But Barbarossa recognized the potential for a strong ally, and officially forgave him, provided that Henry the Lion would swear to support Barbarossa from now on. Amazingly, Henry agreed. The Germans were unified, and Henry the Lion was pacified. But the Holy Roman Empire was not complete. Harkening back to Charlemagne, the empire claimed ownership of Italy, and especially Rome. In Rome, the Pope firmly believed that it was the Church, not the Emperor, who was the ultimate authority for the empire. Barbarossa could not convince the Pope to see things his way, so he appointed his own Pope. This, too, was not enough, for Pope and anti-Pope promptly excommunicated each other. In the end, Barbarossa had to resort again to politics at the point of a lance. If the Pope would not listen to reason, then perhaps he would concede with 2,000 German knights pouring down the Italian peninsula. The greatest of the northern cities, the virtual capital of Lombardy, was Milan. The lords of Milan were as proud as they were belligerent. Barbarossa was determined to raze Milan to the ground as a warning to all the Italian city-states, and particularly the Pope of Rome. The message was clear. He, Frederick Barbarossa, was the one and true Holy Roman Emperor. Barbarossa was not kind to the Milanese. In response to unattempted negotiations during the siege, he sent 6 Italians marching back to the city. 5 had been blinded, but the 6th only had his nose cut off, so that he could lead the other 5. Northern Italy had been mercilessly conquered and placed under imperial governments. But Italy would not submit. If anything, the destruction of Milan made the Italian cities even more incensed that there would be emperor.